Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. Holla Chi Town, Scream ATL, Shout Carolinas. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We are in the building.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and friends. We are in the building, y'all. Yes, indeed, we are in the building. Yes. How's everybody doing out there today? I hope everybody is great. How are you doing today, Ursula?
I am blessed and happy to be here. How are you?
I'm I'm glad. I'm glad to be here as well, and I'm thankful, you know, to be here. But I can't go on with the show without mentioning our boy. Where you at? Where you at, bro? Hold up. Here we come. We coming with you. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
Where you at?
Sorry.
Where you
Where you at? Where you at?
at? Don't turn into a song, please. Don't turn into a song. I'm begging you, please.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just a little. I don't even know what that's it or not. Let's see if that's it. Oh no, that's not who I wanted to show y'all. That wasn't what I wanted today. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about what was who is it? Oh, James Evans, y'all. Y'all know we just lost him. We
Yeah,
lost,
yeah.
and the sad part is we just found out about it um to yesterday, and he died actually August the 21st.
Yep.
And guess what? Did you know that his daughter, allegedly, they said that his daughter did not even know that he was deceased.
I don't know if I believe that. And one of my friends made a great point in one of her posts. She was saying that people, were responding to the news that he passed, saying, oh my God, that's so unfair that nobody's told us. But she said she thinks that, and I kind of agree. She was like, most people are reacting, but they really reacting because they want to know what's going on, like why, if what the daughter is saying is true. But the thing is, the daughter is wrong if she's putting their family business in the news. I mean, I'm glad they told us, and I'm not sure if he died a month ago or a day ago, but the bottom line is somebody lost their father, their brother, and it's just sad. He was a treasure, in the acting community and to the world, So people are so crazy. You just don't know what the truth is.
Yeah, and my thing is this: if that is so, if it's so, so when was you checking on your dad? How often was you
Hello.
checking up on him?
Hello.
Because when your loved ones get to a certain age, you should be checking on them anyway. So if that is
Especially,
true,
you're right. Especially considering she was accusing the brother of abusing him, elderly neglect. And when I don't even see how that was true. Every time you turn around, he was with the son,
yeah.
having fun somewhere on camera. You know what I mean?
Marlene said, "Who died?" John Amos. If you watched Good Times, the
Good
father
times coming
who
to
played,
America.
yeah,
Kunta Kinte.
James Evans. That's who died. Yeah. But anyway, you guys. So tonight I decided that we're gonna do a different kind of show tonight. We always complain about every little thing, and we want to thank everybody that's tuning in tonight.
Yes.
And we want you to think about this question too. I want everybody that's listening to the show today, I want you to think about this question as well. No, not the dad from the Jeffersons. He was from Good Times. The father from the Jeffersons died years ago. You talking about George Jefferson? No,
Sharman Hemsley.
Hensley, right? Yeah, I'm talking about James Evans. Damn, damn, damn. Florida Evans, baby girl. But anyway, y'all. That's okay. It's okay, Marlene. We cool. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
yes. But anyway, we're gonna get to our question. So, we complain every day. We complain about something. We always complain. But have you ever um hmm, let's say this. How did God show up in your life during an event, a struggle, or a difficult time in your life? So we're gonna start with you, Ursula.
That's a tough one. The reason why it's tough is not because of the answer, because it's so many times
Hmm.
that God has shown up. The one that sticks out in my mind, and let me first just start by giving love and prayers to everybody, including you, my sister, who um who is struggling, and dealing with the loss of a loved one. I know that is one of my prayers for you, that God continues to comfort you, in your situation. But I want to say that first. But so one thing that sticks out in my mind, so I have three children. They're 3 years apart. So I have two boys. They were always just together. Even though they're 3 years apart, they just was always, just together. And so when my boys had chicken pox, um, they had them together. Like I said, they did everything together. So when they had chicken pox, they had them at the same time. So my youngest was 2 at the time, and my oldest was 5. So at that time, I was working at the church. I was working in daycare when I first got into education. I was working in daycare, and I was working, like I say, at the church. And so at that time of my life, very simple time. My first apartment, my first real job. I mean, I had a little grocery store job, and like Krispy Kreme job. But this was my first real job, and it was for the church I went to. So everything was right there. Like, my house was across the street, my church was from the church. Then my friend, mostly my friends, but my family was in DeKalb County. But anyway, so I went to work that day. They both were just chicken popped up. She was like, "Well, let them come over here, because I'll go ahead and let mine get it." So I'm like, "Okay." So she let the boys come over, and everything was good. And that was the second day. So the second day they went over, when I went to work, she called me and she said, "I need you to come and check on your baby." So I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "He keep throwing up." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "He keep throwing up, and it's like he can't stay awake."
Oh wow.
So I'm like, okay. So literally, she lived, like, the church was right here. I live right here. She lived right here. I mean, steps, literally. So I immediately went over to check on him. I'm thinking like, oh, well, just chicken pop issues or whatever. So I went over there, and my baby was like, he was literally like, and so when I got him on, he threw up, but it wasn't like vomit, like, like you throw up food, or either if you throw up like a liquid in your stomach is out. It was like this white chunky stuff. And so he just kept going and just, throwing up or whatever. So I'm like, what? And I'm trying to ask him, are you okay? But he literally was like in and out, in and out, in and out. So I'm like, what is wrong with my baby? And now both of them had the chicken pox. He was the one who had the lesser. Like he had like three, marks.
Hmm.
My other son, he had them everywhere, everywhere. This one, you couldn't even really tell he had the chicken pox. So I was like, what is going on? So called the doctor. The doctor was like, okay, they're on break. That's what they said. So I got one of the doctors who used to, things were so different back then, gave me her cell phone number. So I called her. She was like, yeah, bring him to the office. Didn't have a car at that time. I'm telling you, my life, it was so crazy. But didn't have a car. I tried to call a cab, couldn't get a cab. Wasn't gonna wait on a bus. I literally, I don't even, I'm not good with counting miles and stuff like that. But I um literally got my baby in my hand. He was 2 years old. He was long 2 year old, but I literally held him, in my arms, and I ran him to the doctor. So like I said, everything was close, but I know I'm trying to see. I wish I had researched that. It was about 2 or 3 miles. And I ran him to the doctor. We got there. I told him Dr. Raines told me to come, bring Deontay in. And they was like, well, they're on break. Dr. Raines is on break, and Dr. Cottons is not here, and blah blah blah. So I said, well, when will they be back from break? She was like, let me see him. So she said, oh mama, that's just chicken pox. Just take him home, put him in an oatmeal bath, and he'll be okay. But it just didn't sit right for me to listen to that. So I went to the parking lot where I know that the doctors, park their cars or whatever. I went to the parking lot, sat right there on this little wall, and I was waiting for one of those doctors to show up. I waited about 10 minutes. And the whole time I'm crying and praying, crying and praying. And so Dr. Cotton, he gets out the car. I was a Thompson then. So he says, hey, hello, Miss Thompson, how are you? How is Deontay? And as soon as he said that, he looks at Deontay. He was like, what is going on with him? And I said, he said, don't, he said, no, he said, just bring him on. He ran, and I ran. We ran to the office, which was another probably about 24 feet from there. We both ran to the doctor, and the nurse was like, Dr. Cotton, I told her, and he just did. He waved her off. We went into the room. He called Dr. Raines. She was in her office, but she was on her break. He called her, and they went in the back, and she said he came back out. He said Dr. Raines is gonna look at him, and they told me that we was gonna go in on a ambulance because Deontay had a rare condition where basically he had encephalitis, which is fluid on the brain,
Oh wow.
as a result of chicken pox on the brain.
Oh wow.
That's why we didn't see that many on his exterior, because they were all in his brain. They said it was a rare condition. Um so of course I'm a mess. Of course. Um so I'm crying. They said you can ride on the ambulance, because how young he is. So we got on the ambulance, went to Eggleston Hospital, and they came in. They told me, okay, they said, okay, well, we're gonna have to do a spinal tap. They're telling me all this stuff. We're gonna have to give him antibodies. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do that. Telling me, and I'm scared as I don't know what. So they say, okay, we'll be back and we're gonna start the spinal tap. It's my 2-year-old baby now. So Georgia Powell. Okay. I'm sorry. um so I'm sitting in the room crying, crying, praying. I'll never forget. I was sitting in his rocking chair and I'm just praying. I'm like, Lord help me. I don't know what to do. And God showed up right there in that moment. And God said, stop crying now. And it's just like I just said it to you. Said, stop crying now. And I said, okay. And at that moment, when I said, okay, the auntie who had been not conscious woke up and said, Mama, he said, I want to watch cartoons. Man, when I tell you, I got up with him in my arms and I started dancing and I was thanking God because just to know, that God has showed up like that for me. Doctors came back in when they heard me and um they said, what happened? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. I said, we were sitting there. I said, and he woke up. He just woke up. And so they went and got some more doctors or whatever. They was like, okay, checking and whatever, whatever. And so this one doctor came in and they was like, we don't know what happened. And this one doctor said, I know what happened. And he looked at me. He said, she know what happened too. He said, was you in here praying? And I said, I was. He said, that's what happened. He said, God came through.
Amen.
Oh man, it was just a beautiful thing. And all the things that they said they had to do for him, none of them.
Oh
They didn't
wow.
have to give him now one drop of antibiotic. All the
That's God.
fluid, well, it was immediate. It was immediate. All the fluid was gone. It was just like, I mean, you know what I mean? How they say God showed up and showed out.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what happened. They kept him there for another 2 days because of course they wanted to observe him to make sure everything was okay. And when he came home, he had to relearn how to walk and stuff because the chicken pox was
Wow.
on a part of his brain that controlled, his motor skills and stuff like that. So he had to relearn. We used the stroller and stuff, when we went somewhere for a few months.
Oh
When
wow.
we got home, it was not funny, but he was real thin when he was small. He was real skinny. And he tried to get up off the bed. I'm like, baby, you can't get up. He tried to get up and his legs just fell out like some little sticks or whatever. But
Mm,
yeah, God really showed up. And I mean, he's fine. He was fine ever since, honey.
that's good.
That's
Uh,
just one other
yeah.
example.
Yeah. Well, I got an example that I want to share. I'm going to share this one. This happened to my mom. I remember um, my mom and my dad got sick around the same time. They were both really, really sick. Um, they had given my dad a few days or a few weeks or so to live. They gave my mom a few weeks to live. They had said both of them we was gonna lose both of them. My dad did pass away, but my mom was a little different because my mom's faith was so strong. Oh my God, this woman. So they told her, the doctor came in the room and the doctor told her that she only had like 3 weeks to live. He doubted if she even make it that far. My mother told the doctor, she said, well, my doctor said that he ain't ready for me yet. He said, I am your doctor. She said, no, no, no. You the doctor here. I'm talking about my doctor, Dr. Jesus.
Okay. Okay.
And the doctor said to my mother, he started laughing at her. He thought she was funny. She was being funny. But she wasn't being funny because my mother had already, God had already visited her. So that's the reason why she was able to tell him her
Hmm.
testimony that she knew that she wasn't going anywhere. The doctor said, "Well, you'll be gone in 3 weeks." This is what the doctor
Oh
told
my
my mother.
God.
He said, "You'll be gone in 3 weeks." See, this one thing I learned. I learned this from my mother. You can't give nobody no date because you are not the father. So
Amen.
she told the doctor that he said, "Well, you'll be out of here in 3 weeks. You won't make it." My mother said, "All right." My mother called my sister and told my sister, "Get me out of here." She
Mm,
said, "Get me to another doctor." Before she could say that, it was a doctor walked into her room,
mm,
and she said he wasn't. He didn't even know that she wasn't his patient. He forgot. I guess on some, well, God sent him to that room.
right, right.
So when the doctor came into the room, my mother asked him to be her doctor, and that doctor took care of my mother. My mother lived for 9 years.
Wow.
They told her she had 3 weeks, but the real doctor, told her that he wasn't ready for her yet.
Oh my
My
God. Oh
mother
my
lived
God.
9 years. She lived 9 more years, and my mother did not pass from originally what they said that she was going to die from.
Wow.
So, yeah, getting to see God up close and personal. Oh yeah, that was a time for us because it was really a tough time for us because we had just lost my dad, and then they telling us that we're gonna lose my mom,
Hmm.
and I remember going to getting my mom prepared for my dad's funeral. I never forget it because she she couldn't even do anything for herself, and that's how sick she was, but by November, my mama was in the kitchen on
Mm.
Thanksgiving cooking Thanksgiving meal. So let me tell you, can't tell
Wow.
me what God won't, what God ain't able to do, because he is who he say he is.
He is.
Yep. So
He
yeah.
is. And what we have to know is, as his children, we have to understand that when we ask God for something, there are three answers: yes, no, or wait.
Hmm.
We don't register the no or the wait part. We want what we want right then and there. And so, sometimes we gotta learn how to, like you say, have that faith,
Yep.
that what you call that radical faith, like your
Yep.
mom had.
Yep.
That faith that was like, I don't care what you say. You know.
Yep. And as I think about when I was a child, I remember there were times, I come from a large family. I come from a family of, it was 10. I had 10. It was 10 of us, and with my mom and dad, it was 12 of us, and we lived in a two-bedroom apartment. Never
Mm,
forget it. And there were times my only person worked was my dad. My mom didn't work, but my dad was labeled legally blind. They
mm.
had labeled him legally blind, but my dad was a mechanic, the
What?
best mechanic on the south side of Chicago. That's right. That man, he can. I never forget. My brother used to play these games with my dad. He used to try to play these games every morning. He try to catch my dad when he couldn't sleep, and he'd go, "Dad, I need money for the bus. I don't got enough money." That man would pull his money out his pocket, and his eyes is closed, but he gonna give you what the right bills. He knew the bills. My brother would say, "Oh, Dad, you gave me a dollar. Here you go. No, I didn't. I gave you $5. My brother was like, Dang, how he know? So he knew, he like I said, he knew a car. He could take a car apart and put it back together,
Wow.
you know. So yeah, you talking about some, oh yeah. And I used to watch my mom a lot of times. Like sometimes there was times where we didn't even know where our next meal was coming from. And I would watch my mother. My mother would go in that dining room, never forget it. She would go in the dining room, get in that corner, and she in prayer. And I didn't understand at the time because I was a kid. I didn't know what she was doing. I just seen her on her knees and I seen her praying in the corner. I seen her in the corner and she down on her knees and she got her hands like this and she praying. But I didn't quite understand why she do that. But now as I then got older, I understand. And the next thing you know, she get somebody she got something that came to us,
Right.
and it's like, oh dang, gone. So yeah, I come from very poor beginnings in my life. And I thank God every day for the life that He gave us, what we went through growing up, because it kept us humble, and it actually helped me learn how to survive.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that, because I always wonder about this, do you think that, I know that God, you know, how, everybody says, God knows, everything you're going to do before you do it. Do you think that God has almost like when you talk to your children, like, you can do this, you can do the right thing, or you can do the wrong thing? Do you think that we have, because I know we have free will, but do you think we have free will as in God is like, okay, they got these two paths, you know what I mean? Like they can go either way, or do you just know that God, do you think that God just knows they not gonna do it? They gonna do the wrong thing or the right, you know what I mean? What do you think about that?
When what you mean by, like, I'm kind of confused on your question. You mean
I mean,
the
I
right path
mean,
or the wrong path?
like, okay, you know how they say we, God says we have free will, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, God knows, how people say that God knows where, about you and what you were gonna do while you was in your mother's womb,
Mm-hmm.
but what I often think about is, does God like give us like the two choices, like saying, is she gonna go right or left? But you know what I'm saying? Or do you think he knows that we're not gonna do the right thing? Or he knows which choices we gonna make?
I'm sure he know what choice we gonna make. I'm almost positive that he know the choices that we gonna make, because we don't even know the choices we gonna make, but I'm sure
My
he
point.
knows. Right? We don't even know, because sometimes we just make decisions based on how we feel that day. So you know, yeah, I would think that he would know. He
Yeah,
know that we gonna the decisions that we gonna make, and that's why he's a forgiving God, because he
yeah.
forgive us for the decisions that we make.
When I was younger, I used to always, and sometimes I still do. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, if he know we doing wrong, make us do right.
Yeah,
Take away the free will, but God is sovereign.
yeah. How, I got a question. How did God talk to you? Um, through Was it through a vision? Through what was it? Through a dream? Or another person? Have you ever had that experience where he talked to you through a vision or dream, or through another person? Have you ever had that experience?
I mean, I think I've often had like confirmation situations, as far as God showing me, even if I don't hear His voice, Like he'll put it on my heart, in my spirit, while I feel something. But but what he'll, for confirmation, he'll like have, somebody to say something about exactly what I was praying about, or a scripture I was reading, like that, like confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as a dream, I don't think that I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say I don't think. I don't think that God has spoke to me through a dream before, but like I said, mostly confirmation, or I will often hear, God speak to me, um, and it'll be, and to be honest with you, because I used to have trouble with figuring out if God was speaking to me or if it was my own mind. But when God speaks to me, it's almost like in the most peaceful voice that you've ever heard,
Okay.
and it's like a quiet, still voice, and it's like you say, like your parent, like when when you feeling bad, and when you can, everybody can say, oh, it's all right, but when your mama say it, it's like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you got that sigh. You
Yep,
sigh.
yep,
Yes. Like she gave you the answer.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
Well, I'm gonna tell you about mine. Mine was God talked to me through a vision. So when I was writing the book Little Sisters Listen Up, so God will wake me up every morning at 4 a.m. for a whole year. And I had this notepad by my bed, on the side of my bed. And every morning, 4 a.m., he will wake me up and he give me verses, give me what I'm writing, what I need to write. And in this book, I had all this stuff written down in this book, in this notebook. So when the year was over with, by the time it was time to, put this thing together, I was looking at. I never forget it. I looked at the notebook. I said, I don't know what the crap I'm supposed to do with this. Remember my sister was in the hospital, and I had went to the hospital to visit her,
Hmm.
and I had the little notebook in my hand, and she asked me, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, this, I don't know." I said, "It's some notes I've been taking." I said, "Every morning, God wake me up at 4 a.m. and I'm writing this down, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this." So she looked at it and she started reading through it. She started reading the notes and stuff, and she said, "Sis, you're supposed to write a book. This your book." And I said,
Wow.
"Okay." I said, "Sis, this don't look like no book. This is just words in this notebook that I had." And she said, "Sis, you're supposed to write a book. That's what this is." And she said, "And I'm gonna give you the title." I said, "What's the title?" And she was the one who gave me the title. Little
Oh,
Sisters,
wow.
Listen Up. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. She gave me the title. And I was like, okay, now you gave me a title, but I still don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. She said, "Now, this is your part. The part you need to do is, now you need to go home, pray over this, and ask God, what am I supposed to do with these words?"
Hmm. Hmm.
And I said, "Okay." I said, "Sister, they just don't make any sense to me, because I said I got stuff everywhere in this notepad. I got all this stuff written down, but I had no clue as to what I'm supposed to do with these words." So I prayed over it. I did what she told me. I prayed over the words, and I prayed and prayed. And I sat by the computer, in front of the computer. So it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. By 12, I'm like this. And all of a sudden, I got this nudge.
Mm.
It said, "Wake up." And I woke up. And next thing I know, I was turning the pages. And he was giving me how this stuff, how it's supposed to be organized. I'm just typing, into typing this thing up. And before I knew it, by the end of the night, I was finished.
Wow.
I said,
Wow.
"Wow, that is so crazy." I said, "I have never experienced that. I had never experienced something like that before in my life. I mean, first of all, we talking. I'm getting up at 4 a.m. every morning. So you know what I learned? I learned this also during that process of writing this book.
Mm.
Also learned that when you are woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning, that means that you are actually supposed to pray. That's what I learned.
Yeah, I learned that.
Yeah, that you should be praying when you are waking up out of your sleep at 4 a.m. Anytime during that middle of the night when you are woken
Hmm.
up like that, you are supposed to begin to pray.
Yes.
That's what you're supposed to do. And I didn't know that at the time, but I learned that when, like I said, I was every morning at 4 a.m. I was getting woken up, and the words was just coming to me. Everything was just coming through, and it was just like I couldn't believe what all this stuff that I was writing in this notebook. I couldn't believe it, and I just was writing it down, just writing it down every morning, 4 a.m. I'm like, hey, why you gotta wait till 4 a.m. to wake me up, Lord? But that's when your brain is more clear. Did you know that? That's when
No.
you can hear him even better.
Oh,
That's
you
when
mean
you,
toward God? I was gonna say I thought you meant
yes.
toward the rest of the world. I was
No,
gonna say,
no, not
oh
again.
no.
No, that's the time when you can actually hear God speaking to you. It's
Mm,
early in the morning. That's the best time to have that time with God.
mm.
Yeah. Because you
I
can
don't know
hear
about
him
it.
clearly. Yes, you can hear him clearly. You can hear him speaking to you. He talking to you about everything that you're going through or things that you're dealing with. He's talking to you. And you just have to listen. That's the time when you just sit there and be quiet. You don't say anything. You just be quiet. And because he's gonna talk to you and you're gonna hear, like, you're gonna hear the vision, whatever the vision is that he have for you, whatever it is that he wants you to do, he gonna give it to you, but you gotta listen and you gotta
Yeah,
really listen good. And
right.
that's what it was. He gave me the words, and it was so crazy to me because I did not understand. And it was the funny part was that my sister knew what it meant and I didn't.
Did you
She
get
did.
to share with her though when once you wrote it?
I did. She passed in 2019, but yeah, she actually had I she actually got a copy of the book and everything, and she read it, and she told me, she said, sis, I'm so proud of you because you listen. She said you
Yeah.
listen. Yeah, and she said, that's when she started telling me about. She was like, that's when I have my conversations with God too. She's like it early in the morning. She didn't say what time, but she just said that's when she have her conversations with God.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it is. So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing feeling, and just like some just like the dreams that I have now. I have these dreams. I keep having these dreams about um me speaking in front of a millions and millions and millions of people, but I don't understand what it is. And I just know that I'm honest. I keep seeing myself in this dream. I'm on this stage and I'm talking to millions and millions of people. And I don't understand what it is or whatever. And I believe in dreams. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I never forget that I had this dream that I was going to get terminated from my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and it was so clear. I seen the lady and everything, the lady who was doing it and everything. I seen her just as clear as day. And about a month later, they came to me just the way the dream showed me, and they told me they had to let me go. And I said,
Wow.
oh, okay. I said, wow. I said,
So
but I
you
was,
wasn't even surprised, huh?
no, because God had already shown me. You know, man, whew, yeah, I was not really surprised because he had already shown me. And my
Yeah.
other sister, I had talked to my other sister about the dream that I had, and she said, "Yeah, she said that means that's gonna happen." She's like, usually when you have dreams like that, God show you for a reason. He didn't want me to go ballistic in there. That's probably why he
Yeah.
told me ahead of time. said, I don't
he
want you tearing up the place because I know you will.
he know his daughter.
Yes, she do. So yeah, it's man, that's some powerful stuff though. I'm gonna tell you that
Yeah,
when you get that kind of connection with God, oh my gosh, mm. That's a
yeah.
powerful
That
connection.
that's amazing.
Hmm.
That's amazing.
Like when
I,
you wrote your book, didn't you have a vision or dream or?
well, no, when I wrote my book, so my dad passed in 2002,
Hmm.
and I've always liked to write and read, but I hadn't written really since probably since high school.
Hmm.
And when my dad passed in 2002, I had like a year of cuckoo-ness, maybe like a almost a year of cuckoo-ness. I mean, I thought I was losing my mind. Just to be honest with you, I couldn't find peace nowhere. Now, I do credit God for getting me through it. Of course, you know, like the actual physical act of the funeral, and when my father passed, I knew that it was only God. The way that I know it was only God. But after the funeral and everything, I just kind of started going cuckoo. I kept thinking that he was coming back. I mean, I was like, I wouldn't even be mad at anybody saying why did they tell me that it wasn't true. I just was like, oh, he coming back, he coming back, and I was like, oh man, the enemy was playing with my mind, telling me I was next.
Wow.
Like, yeah, oh yeah. When I tell you it was bad, oh, it was bad. Oh, it was bad for like I say, like 9 months. And I never forget. I was living in these apartments. No, I was living in a condo then, and I was in my room, suffering, in silence because of course I'm mama, and I couldn't. Nobody could see me falling apart because I got these three kids who just lost their grandfather, who was the only father that they knew. So
Hmm.
I'm in my room, just if you saw me at the time, you probably would have thought I was up there fighting a bear. I'm just like look wild and crazy, and just like couldn't sit still.
Hmm.
And so this one particular night, I literally I had voices who wait pretending to be God,
Hmm.
excuse me, saying, talking about I'm next, just get ready.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And
Oh, he was really working on you.
oh yeah, you have no idea.
Hmm.
And then in the next moment, like I said, that still voice, like I was telling you, that soothing and comforting voice said, would I talk to you like that?
Exactly.
Have I ever talked to you like that?
Hmm.
And from that moment on, I cried so hard. I cried so hard that moment, and I just cried, and I was crying so hard. It was like I was almost screaming. I was crying so hard, and I thought about it, because like I said, it felt like I was losing my mind, and I was like, no, God, you never, you would never talk to me like that, and that's not your way of communicating with us because you love us. God would never try to scare you, or you know what I mean, drive you nuts, you
Yeah,
know.
he loved us unconditionally.
Right. And so I
Mhm.
just I just that moment just changed everything. And so I cried and cried and cried. And I remember I didn't even go to work that next day because
Mhm.
I was just so, so out of it, spent and everything. And so I remember I remember that I was like, I think somebody broke into our house.
Wow.
And yes, somebody broke into our house, and we moved in with my mom.
Oh wow.
And the the day that we got to my mom's house, I had I've always, you know how it is when you write, you got 1,000 pads and stuff, notebooks or whatever. So I got a pad or whatever, and I start just writing some old silliness or whatever. But then I was like, started writing a story.
Oh wow.
And the story that I wrote was it's called Remembering Hiring. It was a story about this lady who had a cousin. I had a little cousin to die. Um, he was in a car crash. He was only 19 years old. His name was Hiring. And so in the story, I wanted to commemorate him. So it was called Remembering Hiring. So in this book, the lady, everything that happened when he was around, she used to, everything that happened, she would call him and say, "Cuz, guess what happened?" So after he passed, she would just write. Every time something happened, she would write just like he was, she was talking to him.
Right.
And so she was every time at the end of her little stories or whatever, she would write remembering her. So anyway, yeah, so I started writing that book, finished the book. Now that's what I'm saying. That was before I actually started writing. So finished the book, and it's in right now about 6 spiral notebooks,
Yeah.
um and that just, I was just like, okay, that really, that helped me. It was very therapeutic. And so that's when I started working on my book. Let me tell you about these other food. That's actually when I started. And the title was like, what is it? But it, like I say, it was just something. It wasn't from me. You know what I
It was
mean?
it was the spirit. It was God.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling you what he wanted you to write. The same thing
Mm-hmm.
with me. That's why I said 4 a.m. I never forget. It was 4 a.m. for a whole year, and I was writing this stuff in that notebook, and it just didn't make any sense to me when I finished writing it, and it was time to do the book. It didn't make no sense to me. But I'm gonna tell you, God puts people in places for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you said, you was it was a your cousin, right? That was your cousin that was writing these notes, right? Originally, to
No, no,
her.
no, no, no. No, no, no. I in the book, I was just writing it like, the lady was writing the notes because she used to always call him.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay. So, but you took it and turned it into a story.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. That's what I was saying about my sister. I took the notes to the hospital with me. I don't know why I even took it with me, but when I took it to the hospital with me, she was the one who told me what it was. I didn't know what it was. I was like, okay, I just know that I was writing this stuff down every night. And I'm gonna tell you something else. When God gives you an ideal, and usually he'll give it to you like, and like I said, sometime in the middle of the night when you're asleep, he'll give you that idea. So when he give you an idea, make sure you follow through on it, because just like he gave you that idea, he gonna give it to somebody else. And if
Oh,
you
I
don't
learned that
carry
the
it out,
hard way. I
somebody
learned
else
that the
will.
hard way.
Yeah, somebody else will. Let me tell you. So I don't know if okay, so one night, and I got this still in my book right now. I have this little notebook that I had. It was a t-shirt that I was supposed to make, and I did not make the t-shirt. I didn't do it. God had gave me the vision already. And guess what? I seen it. I seen the t-shirt. Guess who got the t-shirt? And guess
Oh,
who got the vision? Who
oh,
also got the vision? Country Wayne.
oh, wow.
I had that same vision. God had already given it to me, but I didn't carry it out. So when he give you a vision and he tell you something you're supposed to do it right then and there. Don't waste time. Don't wait till 2 years from now. Do it right then and there. Because guess what? When he give you that vision, he gave the vision to somebody else. He just want to see who gonna carry it out. So you gotta go with what he's telling you. When he tell you to do something, you gotta go with it and do it, because he giving it to you for a reason. But if you don't carry it out, he gave it to somebody else too, and that person gonna carry out that dream. And that's what he did. He carried the dream out, because I got it written down. It's in I drew the picture and everything, but I just didn't know how to. I didn't know what to do with it. Honestly, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know. I was like, yeah, I don't know. That's not gonna really sell. People not really gonna buy that. And I was wrong. But he gave the vision to me, and I did not carry the vision out. I didn't carry it out. Who knows? I probably would be sitting pretty right now.
But that is what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I was asking in the question. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, do God know we're not gonna hear him, or choose to make the wrong choice? That's what
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I didn't carry it out. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. If I had a did what I was supposed to do, would I be working as hard as I work now? Nope. I would.
No,
I wouldn't have to.
not for somebody else.
Mm-mm. But let me tell you something else though. But God gives you another chance. He'll give you another chance, and he'll give you another vision. He'll give you another project. And now it's up to you to carry that project out or not. If you're gonna he's gonna see if you're gonna do the same thing you did the first thing he gave you. You're gonna let it slide through your hand and let somebody else get it, or are you gonna go and carry it out?
Right, right.
So it's so important to listen to what he say, and when he give you those visions in your dreams and stuff, is there is a reason for it. For so many years I used to have these dreams about water, the
Mm-hmm.
world flooding, and I had dreams that we was all in boats and people was trying to swim and all this stuff, and I didn't understand what that dream was for. Then when that stuff happened in what's that New Orleans, then
Mm-hmm.
that's when everything just the vision I could see everything just as clear, and it was just crazy. I said, OMG. I could not believe what I was dreaming, what I had been dreaming. It was actually coming to fruition. It was
Wow.
it was coming true, and it was a scary feeling, because you know what they say, God will give you a vision and he'll show you things ahead of time, and it's up to you to listen and pay attention to what he's showing you.
Yeah.
See, sometimes I remember one year I had decided that I wanted to go on a fast. I went on a 7-day fast. I didn't eat nothing. All I did was drink water, and it cleaned everything out of my system. It was some of the craziest stuff coming out of my body. I couldn't even
Mm.
explain it to you.
Wow.
But I know that it was a reason why I was going through this fast. I was doing this fast because I just wanted a change in my life. I wanted a change. So I knew that the easiest way and the closest way to get to God is you fast, because you see him better, you hear him better, and you got nothing blocking you now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what I did was I fast for 7 days. I prayed, and I kept fasting, and I prayed, and I asked God to put blinders on me. I never forget this. I asked him to put blinders on me. He put blinders so that I could only see him and only hear him.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember one day I was working for a company. I was in retail, and I never forget this. Lady came in the store, and she had a bad attitude. She was upset about something else or whatever the case may be. She had this piece of paper in her hand, which was a coupon that she had got out of the paper. She asked me a question. She asked me, did we have the item in stock? And I didn't understand what she was saying. I couldn't hear her. So the woman got mad. She took the coupon, put it directly in my face, in my eyes, like this. She did just like that to me. And one
No.
of the ladies said, I know that she walking closely with God, because I did not snap. I looked at the lady and I stepped back and I walked away and I went and got somebody, a manager.
Ooh, that's
And
so.
I asked the
Ooh,
manager, I told the manager what happened. The manager talked to her, and everybody in the store was like in awe because they could not believe that I had actually not snapped. I did not snap. I didn't
baby.
I didn't lose my cool. It was just I couldn't believe it because it scared me because I know normally I would have been like, what? But I couldn't even say nothing. It was as if he did like this to my mouth,
Right.
and I couldn't say nothing. And I walked away and went and got somebody. They talked to her. This lady, she came back into the store the next day. She asked one of my coworkers, could where was I at? The coworker started questioning her, asking her, "What did you want
Like,
with her?"
why? What you
Because
want
she
her for?
see
Yeah.
right, because she was there when that stuff happened,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and she said, "I just need to talk to her right quick." So she went and she came and got me. But my coworker would not leave my side. She stood there. She waited. She wanted to see what do you want with her now? So when I came over there, I said, "How you doing?" I can't believe that this was me. But I knew it wasn't me. It was the spirit. And I said, "Hi, how you doing?" All nicely and everything. She came and she started crying. She told
Mm,
me, I wanted to come back here and apologize to you for what I did to you yesterday. She said, my boss was mean and nasty to me. So I took what I was going through with from my job and took it out on you. And she said, and I should not have done that.
wow.
She said, but the spirit wouldn't let me rest last night. She said, and I knew I had to come back in here and apologize to you. She said, I don't know what you had going on with you, but something, your spirit is like totally different from what I was used to. That's what she said.
Hmm.
I knew. I already knew that that's what she was feeling because that wasn't me. That wasn't me. Y'all, girl, please. I, they would have had to come get me out of there and handcuffed her. That had to been me. I knew that it, I knew because I was like I said, I was going through a fast. I was fasting and I was praying and I was asking God to show me calmness and show me how to be a better person. I wanted him to come through me, you know, so that people, when you see me, you seen him. You didn't
Right.
see me. That's what I
Right.
wanted, and I asked for that, and he gave me that. And that woman was like, she said, I don't know what you got. What she said, I don't know what's going on with you. She said, but I am so sorry. She said, I did not mean to do that to you yesterday, and I just wanted to come back and
Wow.
apologize to you.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
yeah, and my coworker, one of my coworkers, she was real religious. She said, I know what happened. She said that was the spirit of God on that child because we already know. So yeah, yeah, but
Wow,
mhm.
that's
But
amazing.
yeah, so yeah, you got any more words you want to share before we get ready to go?
No, I mean, like I say, it's so many times when you look back over your life and realize how good God has been. You know, He truly with us every second of the day. You
Yep.
know, but it's so many. big events or times that we've needed him, and he showed up. And you know what's so amazing? Some of them times we didn't even know we needed him, and he showed up. He
Yep.
look out and protect us from danger seen and unseen. And he is just amazing. He is amazing.
Showed up and showed out.
Now I'm telling you.
Hmm. Oh, I could tell you, I can go on and on and on and um, but you know, I'm not, I'm not. But I thank God for everything, and man, I sometimes I think of people, and I think about like verses from the Bible that just really like stick to my mind, and when I'm going through stuff, yes, He is. Um, that when I'm dealing with stuff, like with just recently, me losing my daughter, I know that God has been carrying me all this time,
Hmm.
because I cannot do what I do without Him. So, yeah, I could go on deeper, but I'm not. Um, yeah. So, yeah, the power of God.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. You got to trust Him. You got
Yeah.
to
No,
trust Him.
no
Yep.
other explanation.
Mhm. But yeah, this was a very good conversation tonight. I just wanted to switch it up a little tonight, and I wanted to just give thanks, and I wanted to um let people know that, hey, if you are going through something, just know that God got you. He ain't gonna let you. He not gonna let you fall by your wayside unless
Absolutely.
you give up on Him. So you
Absolutely.
can't give up on Him because, yeah, it, I think about Lot. Remember Lot in the Bible? They
Hmm.
said that the devil was able to get to Lot. He was able to do all the things to Lot because God allowed him to, because God knew his soldier.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
knew what his soldier was capable of doing, and that's basically what he did. He allowed him to go after him, but Lot he never gave up on God. Even when his wife turned on him and she was mad at him, she didn't
Hmm.
understand why you love this God more than you love me.
Are we talking about Lot or Job?
Is it Job? No, it's Job. I'm sorry, it's Job. Lot is the one that, okay, Lot is the one that where God told him, don't the angels told him, don't look back.
Don't look back. And his
Back.
wife
And
looked
his
back.
wife
Yeah.
looked back and she died. She turned into a pillow
Pillow
of
salt. Yeah.
yeah, it was Job. Yes, you're right. Thank you for correcting me.
No, no,
But it
no.
was
Because
Job. It was
like you
Job.
said, people are listening, and you want them to refer to the
It was
correct
Job.
thing.
Right. It was Job.
And
Yeah.
and
It was
that is one of my favorite, most favorite stories in the Bible. I love the scripture when he says, though he slay me, yet will I trust him.
yeah.
That's powerful.
Yes, it is.
That's powerful. Just like he put me through, or he is allowing this to happen,
Yeah.
but I still trust him
Trust
because
him.
I know he still got me.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that I love that. That's the verse I like. I love that verse with Job. That whole little chapter. I'll go through that and keep reading that and
Oh
keep
yeah, that's
reading it
powerful.
because it's interesting. Like you said, when he told when the devil asked him, he said, I guarantee you that he'll go against you. He kept telling God that, how the devil moves, he moves. And he said, I guarantee you he'll go against you. And God said, okay,
And God
so you can
suggested
do
it.
whatever you
Have you
want.
considered? He said, "Have you considered my servant Job?"
Hmm.
Because
He knew.
he knew that Job wouldn't fold.
And he didn't. He
He
didn't fold.
didn't.
After everything he went through, he still didn't fold. He
That's right.
stood
And he said, "But don't." He said, "You can do it, but don't touch his
touch
life."
his life. Yeah.
Can't take his life.
He messed his face up, his skin got messed up, and his friends started turning against him. His wife turned against him. Everybody turned against him.
He lost all of his
His
children.
children, yep, and lost everything he had. He lost
Hmm.
all his prized possessions. He lost all of that, and God gave him everything back tenfold.
Twofold. That's right. That's right.
So yeah, yeah, I trust him.
Amen.
Yeah, I trust him.
It's the
So
best thing you got going.
yep, it is. Yes, it is. Yep. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. Any closing words for you, Ursula?
I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the future people who are gonna tune in. Maybe you just want few inspirational or motivational or encouraging words. Because I fully believe everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
So when you click on this, no, it was not by accident. No, our praises and our worship will be exactly for you in the appointed time.
Mhm.
So I want to say a future prayer for you, and just know we are believers and we know that God is real. And just like we trust Him, you can trust Him and He's there for you too.
That's
But
right.
thank y'all for tuning in.
Yep. We thank you guys for tuning in to Inspirational Talks. And we're getting ready to go. Thank you for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. And remember, tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So live your life to the fullest. And remember, put God first, and everything else will fall into place. All right, guys, I'm out of here. It's your girl, Laura Simmons. Peace.
Views and opinions expressed in this program are those of our guests and do not necessarily reflect Freedom Productions.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. Ursula, thank you.
Thank
And we will be
you.
back next week on our regular scheduled day, which is Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. What is that for you, Ursula? Is that
8 o'clock, 8 o'clock
8
p.m.
p.m.? What's that? What's day is it?
Eastern.
Eastern? Okay. 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We had a few people in there. We had Marilyn. Uh, who else over there? Brianna. Yeah, it's more on there, but we just didn't see their
I
names.
don't know why I can't see it.
Oh, it's on the screen. It said comments.
I,
All
I
right.
don't know. I don't know why I can never see them.
Oh, you'll see it afterwards, though. All right, guys. We'll see y'all later. Love y'all. Peace.